Hello everyone and welcome to the Sundrop Cup Series third event of the season here at the Auto Club Speedway. It is the Yamaha California 500. 75 laps here under the lights. Yesterday in the Crown Royal Truck Series race we had 50 laps of action-packed racing, a couple cautions, but a fuel strategy race coming to the end where Alex Peters was able to take home the victory. A lot of drivers in this field looking to get a win. A lot of drivers looking to put themselves back into the championship and chase Hunt as we continue on through this regular season. One thing to note here, a handful of drivers in this field are not in this field due to the eligibility rules that the NSDCA instituted over the off-season. After the horrific accident at Talladega, the NSDCA wants to ensure that drivers on the big tracks will be as safe as possible and require a testing session to run these cup cars here at the high-speed tracks. So a few drivers were turned away, including Joseph Strigley, who will be starting at the back of this race. They are allowed to start the race, but they are only allowed to run a few laps before they pit. Again, the NSDCA, it's a bit of a knee-jerk reaction after what happened last year at Talladega. But we do have 35 drivers in this field. Larry Hagan starting on pole for this Cup Series race. Matthew Eves on the outside of row number 1. DJ Curtis, Logan Bradley, Stephen Wallace Jr., Jay Jefferson, Matty Porta, and a few drivers back here we got to mention real quick. Alex Benyako for his own Ditech Motorsports starts 8th. Put that car 8th fastest. It's ran all 3 races this season so far as Scott Roush piloted it the other 2 and missed out on the Sundrop 500, but he's attempted all 3 races. The number 29, 8th quickest on the qualifying sheets, is great there. And Anderson Reed, 9th quickest in that number 1 team. That is fantastic for Reed Racing, hoping they can get some money today to keep that team afloat. And Colton Yo, he finished last in the 500, looking for a top 10 run today as he qualified himself in the 10th position. Further back, Cody Smart in 11th. One thing the NSDCA has brought in this year is start and parking. You are allowed to just submit an entry that will run a few laps and park for a little bit of extra money. Smart Motorsports has had a lot of money wasted off of all these crashes that you've seen in the opening weeks of the season, and Cody Smart wants to just bring this car in, park it, and gather his paycheck here at Auto Club. He rolls off 11th today, but he'll probably finish near the back. Looking even further back, Alex Fletcher for Smart Motorsports, 13th quickest in that number 72. Great job for the Cheerios team, getting themselves 13th quickest on the grid of 35. Antoine Smith in the 30 there. There's the 07 of Roger Ray. Carter Friesen in some new colors back there. Riley Spurlingtube has announced full-time racing. They have not taken the pink stripes off of the 28 yet, but he will be full-time this season for a handful of teams, including Evernham, Hagen Enterprises, and as well TSR. Colton Lane, another driver that might be declared full-time soon. Diego Yepes putting him in the 05 for just one more race just to see if this driver could possibly be a championship contender. Sitting 5th in the standings right now, they don't want to waste that potential that Monster Motorsports has. And one driver that was bit by the eligibility concerns, Zachary Racing really did not test anyone in the Cup Series outside of Zachary DeLello, so Logan Bradley uneligible for this race. Christian Vargas will be able to step in to the 51 or 53 this weekend, and Noah Kim rounds out the field in the 51 car in 35th. We're going to head down trackside for the commands to fire the engines here at Auto Club. A 75 lap race, a lot of action ahead. Let's go down trackside for the commands.
Drivers, start your engines!
Pepsi and the NSDCA have teamed up this season to bring you the Pepsi Pole Award for the fastest qualifier in all 26 Sundrop Cup Series races this season. Larry Hagan sits on pole with a TSR sweep of the pole positions this weekend, and Hagan wants to improve over how this season has started out. Very far back in points, has had a struggle to the first 2 races of the season. We roll into race number 3 at Auto Club, looking to get himself into victory lane. Can he do it? Find out here at the Yamaha California 500. With that, the engines are fired. 35 drivers are rolling off for 75 laps here at Auto Club. It's sure to be an exciting race. A lot of action out here to be had at Auto Club. We saw in the yesterday's race, they even went 5 and 6 wide. It did not work out for a handful of them, but you can go 5 and 6 wide here, at least for a little bit on the straightaways. This track very wide. So we'll see how this will be. 3 and 4 wide racing is expected, especially as we've said multiple times this year. These cars are much more close together in performance. The drivers are fairly equal in performance as well. So you have a lot of strong drivers in here. They're going to be fighting for every spot they can, and it's going to be an exciting 75 laps here today. Larry Hagan on pole. It's a great run for TSR, but looking at another guy looking to move on up here. Stephen Wallace Jr. in the 65 almost won yesterday's race if it wasn't for fuel running out with about a lap and a half to go. The 65 team dominated the early stages of the Sundrop 500. Had nothing really go their way at Atlanta. He's in 5th today, but Jay Jefferson was taken out by Riley Spurleytube in this event yesterday for the Crown Royal Truck Series while leading, hoping that he doesn't do that again. He's starting in 6th. He wants to get on up there. Spurleytube starts pretty far back in that dark green and black, number 28, very far back on the inside line. Coming around off of turn number 4, we are ready to go racing here at Auto Club. Larry Hagan, Matthew Eves leading him down. Curtis and Wallace Jr. going to get a good jump. Green flag is in the air at the Yamaha California 500 at Auto Club. Already you're seeing 2 3-wide racing. Here comes Curtis now to the inside. Anderson Reed further back in the number 1 is on the inside as well. But Curtis now getting a push from Stephen Wallace Jr. to the bottom. The outside line might be able to carry though, and it will. Larry Hagan gets the push by Eves past on the outside line. Logan Bradley in the 57. Or sorry, that's Zachary DeLello in the 57. I'm thinking back to the truck race yesterday. DeLello up there in that 57 car. As now Matthew Eves is going to jump to the inside on Hagan side by side for the race lead as they come off of turn number 4 here down the front straightaway. Eves getting the big push from Curtis. Will Curtis jump to the inside? That he will in that number 5. Cody Smart in the 02 back there. When will they come in to park that car? Because they do not have a pit crew on the team that has come to the track. DJ Curtis now going to slide up into Eves. That's some contact there for that second position as Curtis takes the race lead 1 car wide. That's Dusty Neal. Here comes Jefferson now in the 48 already to the inside line. Look at that, just 2 and 3 wide racing. Anderson Reed, Cody Smart going at it back there. Man, for a guy who wants to park this car, Cody's going aggressively inside this top 10 already. But Curtis in the 5, he's pulling out into the race lead. Now Jefferson gets a run in the 48 right on the back of him. Down the front straightaway they go. Colton Yo in the 79 back there. Look at the bottom, the Tunity number 99. Brady Burkhardt has those colors on there. They are 4 wide back here. Cody Goforth on the inside, making it 4 wide in that 27 car. He's looking to the very bottom. Neil wide again. Alex Fletcher's wide this time. Now there's some contact between Goforth and Friesen coming off the corner. 3 and 4 wide down the back straightaway. That could be 5 wide right there. They're making some contact between Edson, Cobbs, Bowers, Onjak, all of them going on around there. But here they come, coming on through, and there it is. Cody Smart is going to bring that car in down to pit road. Joseph Strigley is the other one that's starting parking this race, so both of them coming in on lap number 3, so the 02 and 63 go down pit road. Spurleytube back here in this 28 is looking 4 wide on these guys now, as Morris is trying to put himself up the middle. Daniel Kobza now right on the back of the 28 truck, or 28 cars. Kobza in the 75 is going to look to the inside. It looks like these cars, Anj Auto's really been putting drivers in the 75 team this year. Last week at Anderson Reed got the pole at Atlanta. They ended up crashing out the car, so Kobza trying to do much better than that. He drove in the Will McNally Racing colors yesterday. Jefferson and Curtis now pulling away as DeLello's holding up the rest of this group. DeLello 3rd, Stephen Wallace Jr. 4th, Porta and Eves, your front row. Actually, no, Hagan and Eves, your front row. They're now back to 5th and 7th. Burkhardt's up there. Look at Roger Ray in the 07 for Kamikaze Motorsports, already inside the top 10. He drove that number 90 truck last season to a lot of strong finishes for KGM, and now this 07 team, they are inside the top 10, or just outside the top 10, but he's trying to show once again KGM does have speed when they have the right driver in it. Roger Ray moving his way inside the top 10. Ben Yacko starting to drop back. There's Antoine Smith in the 30. Kev Shearer drove the 30 at Daytona. Alex Benyako drove this at the Clash in Atlanta. So now Antoine Smith gets his turn. This is where he made, I believe, his truck debut last year. Came out with an 11th place finish for Texas Star Racing, filling in for the injured Jake Galloway from his early season incident that Galloway was in. But Antoine Smith in the 30 car now all over the back of Fletcher as they come through the corner. Hagan now shoved wide, and that's going to bring Zachary DeLello in this group. He's inside the top 3 now, chasing down Jefferson and Curtis out in front. DJ Curtis sits as your points leader right now, an average finish of 2.5. He almost won the Sundrop 500 if it wasn't for that late race move with the lappers holding him up, and he dropped, I believe, to 3rd or 4th at the end of that. And then he went on to Atlanta, finished 2nd to teammate Jefferson's in front of him. Teammate Carter Friesen in the 85 cars. Now Curtis dives for that race lead to the inside of Jefferson. DeLello might try to get a move done there in that 57 coming off. Stephen Wallace Jr., Matty Porta, 4th and 5th. 6th, Matthew Eves. 7th, Burkhart. 8th is now Anderson Reed. And Eves, man, I thought that was some contact with Burkhart right there. They almost got together, the 47 and 99, getting real close. And now Porta right up to the back of Stephen Wallace Jr. And this is what we expected here at the Cup Series race. Probably this whole field will stay close enough to a pack as is. A few guys might break away up front and back, but the middle part's definitely going to be a pack just because these cars not really fast enough to break apart as easily. And it looks like Alex Fletcher's throwing it 4 wide on Burkhart, Eves, and Benyako up here. That 72 team's getting aggressive for those Cheerios colors. Jefferson, Curtis, and DeLello remain out in front, and we are 4 wide behind him. Antoine Smith, Roger Ray on that inside line trying to push with Butcher and Anderson Reed in that middle, but Eves and Burkhart on the outside line. Now this group trying to pull away and catch up to that top 3 as Matty Porta is going to lead this pack around. And there you see a bit spread out further back, but they are 4 wide. Antoine Smith blocking Ray. Ray's going to make it 5 wide. This is going to be dangerous. Benyako's blowing up in the middle of the pack. And will they get to the inside? Will Benyako get down to the bottom in time? He holds up Roger Ray, but Alex Benyako and that 29 team blowing up. Heartbreak for Ditech in that 29 car, and that is Alex Benyako's day done. There's Zachary DeLello is going to look to the inside of Jefferson and Curtis. They're 3 wide right there as they come through the corner. Jefferson up the middle as Curtis is trying to get a move done. The field coming around back here. Benyako still slow. Noah Kim now has come back into the pack, and it looks like Christian Vargas right now the slowest car off of the pace now, as Benyako continues his way around. Brady Burkhart in the 99, he's moved himself into the top 3. Brady has not raced here in 2 years. Last season, he was parked from this race due to the early incidents at Las Vegas and Daytona last year in the Crown Royal Truck Series after he was involved in multiple crashes taking out drivers. He was parked by the NSDCA. And Diego Yepes was brought in, drove the 99, and I believe that car DNF'd. But Brady has not driven here in 2 years. Doesn't look like it's fallen off. Caution is out. Caution is out on track. Brady Burkhart looking to the inside. Jefferson's going to lead him around, and it looks like Noah Kim is in it. Gatlin Downey's in it. And that might be it. Alex Benyako putting himself around on the bottom. But Gatlin, Downey, Noah Kim got a piece of that crash there. Downey in the 35 Cracker Barrel colors. Noah Kim in the GM Parts Now 51 as they come pacing around. Jay Jefferson's going to lead him back around. Curtis there in the 5. The 57 is Zachary DeLello. Brady Burkhart in the 99 as they're coming on back. So we'll see if these guys will pit. It's been 11 laps here at Auto Club. So Jefferson out in front has led for a majority of those laps. But now they wait for the pace truck. It looks like Auto Club's pace ability is pretty slow. It's actually a pace car out here for the Cup Series. But the pace car is pretty slow as these guys are still just pacing on around. Jefferson's hoping that it stays like that because he doesn't have to slow down too much more and let those guys catch back up before they come to pit road. But we will see if they do end up coming down to take a pit stop. Jefferson in the 48. Curtis is being led by the pace car. There's DeLello behind them. The pace car is entering through turn 3 and 4. They're coming in, but Jefferson is going to bring the 48 car in, and we'll see if anyone will stay out. And it looks like, no, everyone, I believe, will come in. You see that second group of cars a bit further back, and everyone will come in for their pit stops. So Jay Jefferson leads them down. Curtis, DeLello, Burkhart, Porta, your top 5 there coming on in. We'll see how they will come out. But yesterday, fuel strategy was interesting. It's the same fuel window, 21 to 26 laps. Depending on how you could stretch it, you could get to 26 laps. Most likely, it's going to be 21 to 24 laps for a fuel window for these guys, but we will see. 4 tires, fuel, will that be a factor? Last week at Atlanta they took 4 tires. That was Joseph Strictly who took 4 tires. He ended up leading a bunch of laps in that event, And there you see Jay Jefferson. The team's going now to the left sides, going for 4 tires there. And it looks like everyone is going to go for 4 tires. Jefferson will lead the field out, though. Carter Friesen might not have gone for 4 tires, but we'll see. Jefferson, Burkhart, Curtis, Friesen, Fletcher, Hagan, DeLello, Smith, Wallace Jr., and Diego Yepes, your top 10. Let's go ahead and get a replay of what happened to bring out the first caution of the day here at Auto Club. First incident of the day, Noah Kim in the 51 is at the back of the pack. Carson Bowers in the 25 looking to his inside with Downey on the outside. And it's just going to be a move by Bowers to the inside. Tried to clear the 51, got into the back of him, and both of them rear-ended into the wall pretty hard. Bowers, now he just tried to get to the inside and is just going to tap that left rear quarter panel of the 51, sends him into the 35. Downey just an innocent bystander in that, but a heavy hit for both drivers. Both of them able to continue in this race, though, on board with Bowers. And you just see dives to the bottom, is just going to get a slight piece of the 51, turns them both around. We'll bring guys back to the action after this here at Auto Club. Back live here at the Yamaha California 500, getting ready to go back racing. Jefferson, Burkhart on the front 2 positions. Curtis, Friesen, Fletcher, DeLello, Hagan, Antoine Smith, Stephen Wallace Jr., Diego Yepes, your top 10. As they run, everyone took 4 tires under that caution. Green flag is back in the air, though, here at Auto Club. Jefferson pulling away. Burkhart in second. Hagan is going to be the first one stepping out of line. DeLello was looking for it, but Hagan's going to commit down to the bottom on Zachary DeLello. That's the battle now for that 6th position. As Friesen's going to hold up the field. Alex Fletcher better watch himself. There might be an issue with the 85. He's really slow on that bottom. But no, maybe he's getting back up to speed. So maybe there was an issue. I'm not sure. But the 85 was really slow coming through 1 and 2 that time by. I don't know what issue that was. As Curtis, look at him throw it 3 wide up the middle on both of them. And now he's going to be in the race lead. What a move by DJ Curtis. And that 5 team gets him into the race lead. Now DeLello trying to catch Jefferson. Burkhart clear up there. Now Stephen Wallace Jr. in the PayPal 65 on the inside, but Alex Fletcher now inside the top 5 for Smart Motorsports. Cody Smart now in the garage area, just hoping that this 72 car does not end up crashing. Out in front, though, the number 5 of DJ Curtis, the 99 of Burkhart going side by side. Jefferson 3rd, DeLello 4th. Alex Fletcher sits 5th, 6th Larry Hagan, 7th Stephen Wallace Jr., 8th Yepes, 9th Antoine Smith, and look at 10th Vince Freeze in that number 95. He had a lot of great testing runs over the offseason. He had a lot of great runs, actually, in these part-time entries for Monster Motorsports. And now he's in this 95, just inside the top 10. Burkhart into the race lead, by the way. But Freeze inside the top 10 right now. And that 95 is Porta's going to jump to the inside of him. Anderson Reed in the 1 trying to hang on. Further back, you got Colton Lane in the 05 trying to gain as much points as he can to prove that he's worthy of a full-time seat this year in the Sundrop Cup Series. Further back is Peter Onjak, Sebastian Kukulon as they go. Colton Yo in the 79 is back there as well. You got Roger Ray in the 07. And further back, Christian Vargas, Brandon Morris in the 55, and right now Daniel Cobbs, the last driver, on track without damage. It looks like Gatlin Downey, Noah Kim back here. Kim is going to have to meet the minimum speed requirement. Down the front straightaway, Burkhart is hitting 197, 198 into the corner, and we will see. And yeah, he has definitely cleared that, so Noah Kim has cleared the minimum speed requirement for these speedways. Burkhart and Jefferson, the 99 and 48 out in front. Curtis back there in 3rd. DeLello 4th. Side by side for 5th between Larry Hagan and Alex Fletcher. Smart Motorsports really doing everything they can to get this 72 team up in the front of the field. And they took out Eric Monaco from this Auto Club event, replaced him with Alex Fletcher. Now Fletcher inside the top 10 as they run right now. Rest of the field cycling on by as Burkhart, Jefferson, and Curtis continue to pace the field. Got a bit of a break back here as they are 5 wide heading into the corner. Roger Ray on the inside. Now Butcher up the middle. Colton Yo's going to back out of it. He does not want to crash this Evernham equipment again. Carson Bowers, though, in the 25. He was the reason that caution got started when he and Noah Kim just got together. A little bit of damage to 25, but he says it is running fine. And right now he's leading this second group, which is good. Matthew Eves in the 47 for CFRO. Not looking like a good day for them right now, as Dusty Neal in the 94 has now become the highest running CFRO driver. in that McDonald's colored number 95. 20 laps through this event already. We've been going by pretty quickly here at Auto Club. Jefferson out in front, though. Curtis looking to the inside. Burkhart, DeLello back there as well. You got Hagen, Fletcher coming off the corner, though. Jefferson's going to use that outside line momentum, but down the back, going to the wider angle shot is Larry Hagen. Jumping to the inside in that 21 with the momentum on the inside line. Fletcher in the 72 up there. Burkhart's going to drop back on the outside, but that is a 3-wide battle for these spots. These cars are a bit easier to control because they are slower than the trucks as well. They have a bit more downforce, so I think these 3 and 4 wide racing could be a bit cleaner than you saw in the truck race yesterday, but we'll just have to see how these guys will run as they go on around here. Austin Murray to the inside of alliance partner Colton Lane as they dive around right there. Murray driving full-time for this 91 team this season. Martini returning to the car after they left Adkins Racing Team in the Dr. Pepper Dash Series this week. Daniel Bouchard was kicked off of the 00 team. They've replaced him with Kyle Bachelia in that number 00 car, but Martini did leave with Daniel Bouchard's leaving, so now they are focusing full-time on their pedal-to-metal racing efforts. Down the front straightaway, Vince Freeze fighting his way inside this top group now. Curtis out in front, Hagen back in this in the 21, but Vince Freeze, Stephen Wallace Jr. have joined the fight up in front as Wallace Jr. is going to shove that 95 out of the way. We saw at Atlanta a bit more of a spread out field as they ran around. This is a very long track. Aero is important here and drafting is important, as you see. So you will definitely see packs here. If we end up going into a point where we do have green flag pit stops, the field will definitely spread out a bit more. And we'll see last week at Atlanta, that was a very exciting race to the end. A couple guys playing fuel strategy. Ryan Butcher was able to get out, pick up a few spots. Gatlin Downey was more hindered on pit road, and other drivers as well. But these guys right now, they're going to have to start thinking about strategy. Hagen's really slow. Everyone almost ran each other over. Antoine Smith almost hooked by Porta back there. Stephen Wallace Jr. in the 65 trying to hang on, but these guys are going at it back here for about 5th or 6th on back. Now someone that these guys got to be scared of, Jay Jefferson, one of the strongest guys in the garage area. He has the equipment in that truck race, but Diego Yepes, 11-time winner in the NSDCA, the only driver with multiple double-digit series wins, or double-digit NSDCA wins in all series. He is in that 5th position. It's been over a year since he's gone to victory lane. The last time he was even really competitive and fighting for a win that wasn't in that number 99 truck was the championship that he won back at Kansas before he was turned by Brandon Morris. Yepes now in that 5th position. DeLello up there in the 57 just chasing down DJ Curtis. And Curtis, man, we just got to talk about DJ. Oh, Burkhart to the inside of Jefferson. There it is. Battle for that 4th position. Jefferson looking, 2 cars made some contact back there. That might have been Colton Lane and Larry Hagen, or Alex Fletcher maybe even made some contact. But let's talk about DJ Curtis real quick. Just a dominant run to start this season. Jefferson has been up in front. He's been fighting, but after the Sundrop 500 crash, Curtis was able to pull a lot of points on everyone else. Him and Carter Friesen dominated the race at the end of the race last week at Atlanta, and now DJ Curtis out in front once again here at Auto Club, driving his heart out, trying to finally win a race as we are 1/3 of the way through this one, 25 of 75 complete. It's been about 13 laps since the fuel window, or since the pit stops under that caution, so we have about 7 or 8 more laps until we could see green flag pit stops. We did not see that in the truck race yesterday, unless you count the end, which really wasn't fuel strategy. It was everyone running out of fuel at the end of the race and coming on in so they wouldn't just coast around the track. But we're happy to see if there are any green flag pit stops here. A 21 to 25 lap fuel window roughly would be a 3 pit stop race. And possibly, if this was green the whole 75, we could have seen 3 pit stops. I think we'll end up seeing 4 with that early pit stop on lap 10 or 11 when all these guys came in. So this could be an interesting race to get your pit crews ready, up and ready for the season. This is going to be the big strategy race that we might see here, just like we saw last night in the Crown Royal Truck Series event. Carter Friesen in the Loves 85 is moving his way through the field for Monster Motorsports back there. He's inside the top 10 now. Alex Fletcher, again, just got to give him a shout out. Great run so far. A previous TSR driver moved over to Smart Motorsports after TSR after he failed to renew his TSR contract. Moved over to Smart Motorsports, running it full-time in the Mountain Dew Custom Series, running part-time in the trucks for SimTech Racing Incorporated. He is running for Rookie of the Year in there due to him having 14 scheduled starts this season. And he is running a partial schedule in the Sundrop Cup Series. Now, Vince Freeze down to the middle on Yepes. Antoine Smith in the 30, bringing himself up. The top 4, though, pulling away. That's Curtis, Burkhart, DeLello, and Jefferson. 28-75 complete here at Auto Club. We're going to go ahead, take a quick commercial break, bring you guys back to the action here at the Yamaha California 500, most likely for pit stops here in the Sundrop Cup Series on the NSDCA. Back live here at the Yamaha California 500. You saw Noah Kim at the edge of your screen. He will be a lap car coming on in. Kim and Downey have fallen off, but we also have another group of about 4 cars that have fallen off. Now Cody Goforth losing the draft from that in that North Border Motorsports 27. Christian Vargas, Jacob Edson, Brandon Morris have fallen off to the back of this group. Edson not having the return to the NSDCA that he wanted. It's been a struggle since he's come back full-time. 2 crashes, was running top 5 at Daytona before an engine blew. Car cut the tire, and it turned right into the wall, caused the big one. Brandon Morris not having a good return either. He's been up front for a couple times, but only 19th in points, unlike Jacob Edson, where Edson right now has only collected 7 points on the season, sits 40th out of 47 drivers who have participated in the Sundrop Cup Series this season so far. Up in front, Brady Burkhart just took the race lead from Curtis, but there is Noah Kim in the 51. Again, Kim meeting minimum speed requirements, so he is able to continue himself out on track right now. Burkhart in the 99, going to look to the inside of him, trying to get by there. But Brady Burkhart, 33-75 complete. We're coming up close onto halfway and close to pit stops as we run right now. Antoine Smith and Vince Freeze have now caught this top group. Curtis held up by a lap car once again. That's giving him some Daytona flashbacks. DeLello's going to be the one held up this time. But Antoine Smith, Vince Freeze have raced their way up here. Colton Lane as well in that 05 has passed team boss Diego Yepes. Lane is now in that 05 inside this top 10. Noah Kim, it looks like they are evacuating for him. He's going to come down pit road. And that's going to be his pit stop. Brady Burkhart as well. So we will see some green flag pit stops at least for now. And we'll see what Brady will do on that pit stop. Who else is coming on down if we can get back to him? Sebastian Kukla on Carson Bowers, Riley Spurley Tube going to early pit. Looks like those guys, mostly the back markers, but Brady might have just been pushing a little too hard. Wanted to get those new tires because a lot of laps around here. 21 to 25 fuel window around here. That's a lot of miles on those tires. It can really get them worn. Battle for third. Now Vince Freeze, Zachary DeLello, Antoine Smith as they come in. Jefferson and Curtis are going to come on in. Vince Freeze, it looks like, is going to stay out in that 95, and he will. Him and Antoine Smith. These two drivers already missed early on here at the Sundrop Cup Series season. These two right here. So I think instead of going for points, going for good positions, they want wins. They're just here to try to win this race. And right now, that could be the strategy. Long pit so you can save a bit more on that next stint. Also in Curtis, this is going to be the busy section of pit road here. Gatlin Downey came in basically on the same lap as Brady Burkhart, but he was so far back. That's why he's right there. And coming on in, so Vince Freeze, Antoine Smith, Stephen Wallace Jr., Larry Hagan, the 4 drivers now going to come on in, lap 35 of 75. So we have coming to 40 laps to go. That means right now we'd have one more pit stop period on this track. So one more pit stop for all of these drivers as they come in, unless we have an early caution that could bring them back in. 4 tires and fuel was the name of the game. There is Burkhart. There is Noah Kim. And there's those guys. There is Jefferson. We'll take a look at this here. There is Jay out in front. You see Burkhart at the top of your screen as they're going to come on around. Jefferson has jumped DJ Curtis on pit road. And now, coming off of the corner, Brady Burkhart will go by and clear Jefferson right there. So Burkhart's going to get back into the race lead. That's like he did at Atlanta. Pitted early, came in, came out the race leader. Or maybe he just dominated early on. I forget how pit stops worked last week. Colton Lane now inside the top 5. Carter Friesen inside the top 5. So Monster Motorsports is hitting it off right now. Curtis Curtis, Lane, Carter Friesen, and Vince Friese is going to come off pit road. Dusty Neal picks up a ton of spots. Him and Carson Bowers might have picked up a ton from pitting early. Peter Onchak now fighting these guys. And Yepes, a horrible pit stop for that 77 team. Looks like what happened to Logan Cloud last year for Pedal Metal Racing. There's some debris up here. I'm not sure if someone might have hit someone else. Larry Hagan just coming back out on track. There is Vince Friese, Antoine Smith. They're going to be inside the top 5 with Stephen Wallace Jr. But Brady Burkhart, your new race leader. And as we come around, we will update the running order on you as they come down the front straightaway. So Burkhart leads Jefferson, Friese, Antoine Smith, Curtis Wallace Jr., Lane, Friesen, DeLello, and it looks like Fletcher and Neal will be your top 10. The rest of the field cycling on by. Roger Ray has fallen a lot further down the order than he probably wants. Another few guys that have had some horrible pit stops here other than Diego Yepes, Roger Ray. Matthew Eves has been struggling. Matty Porta, that is a horrible pit stop for the 20 team. He's into the back of Eves coming into the corner. But Sauber Racing Team just cannot catch a break. Right now, 25th on track for Matty Porta. Anderson Reed has also fallen back into the clutches of the second group. And it looks like Colton Yo, the 79 team, not really running a full-time pit crew. They're using the Mountain Dew Custom Series pit crew to pit this Cup car. So that's not really going to do much for the 79 team. But Colton Yo just trying to keep that car in one piece this weekend. Though out in front, Jefferson and Burkhart pulling away. Curtis now going to get himself into the front of this group, and he wants to go back up there, try to win this race. And there goes Vince Friese, turned into the outside wall by Antoine Smith, back down the track, into the pack. Will anyone hit him? Ryan Butcher squaring him. Tim Foster's in it, and they all pile up down here on the back straightaway. Ryan Butcher upside down. Cobbs trying to get through, can't see through the smoke. Christian Vargas, the whole field coming on in. Anderson Reed's in it. Colton Yo's in it. And it is a stack up on the back straightaway. Big one. Ryan Butcher upside down. Larry Hagan is going to hit him before he gets taken off the track. That is a ton of cars torn up here at Auto Club. And that is the big one. Ryan Butcher's day is done. Vince Friese was running so well. Spurley Tube announcing that full-time run. He's out of this one. Tim Foster really had nowhere to go. Daniel Cobbs, so now we thought that Tony Zhang Motorsports was going to do good. They finished 8th in the 500 pole at Atlanta, and that is the second crash for the Ferrero colors this weekend, or this season. Matthew Eves, Jacob Edson made it through. Matty Porta made it through. Damage to Austin Murray's 91. Cody Goforth made it through. Downey just has always had that damage. Yo has some front-end damage. Polstetter Hagan is damaged. Anderson Reed has damage. Roger Ray damaged. Noah Kim, he was already off the pace, and now that car is done in that 51. And DJ Curtis, he's going to play the strategy that Austin Johnson played, and he's going to come down early. The rest of this field, I believe, yeah, they are coming on around. But Curtis is coming down to top off fuel. You cannot make it from here. You cannot make it to the end from this pit stop. So I don't know what Curtis is doing. Maybe he's concerned he drove over some debris. I don't know, but Curtis is going to give up some front position. And it didn't work for Austin Johnson yesterday. Coming down right after a green flag pit cycle, because he was at the back of the field and ended up being involved in a crash. So Curtis is going to come on down. We'll see what his strategy is here, if it's fuel only, if he's going to go for some new tires. And it looks like it's just going to top off on fuel. The team going to the left side, checking those tires. Looks like they're trying to see if there's any debris on that. And he's going to come out into Larry Hagan. That's contact there between those two as Hagan goes through and almost hits the pit road marshal down there. Austin Murray, they just tore the back off of that thing. He's coming back out. Larry Hagan has retired from this event. So 40 of 75 complete here. Curtis now, he might have some damage now to that 5 car from that incident. I don't know. We'll have to take a replay and see where that incident or where that damage could have came from. But we're down a good amount of cars here at Auto Club. The big one strikes after Antoine Smith gets into and turns Vince Friese in turn number 2. Let's go ahead and get you that replay. So Antoine Smith, we're looking up top here. He just drives right into the back of Friese and turns him. And that is big for that 30 team in the 95, just getting turned right here. You're going to see it again. just gets run over by Antoine Smith into the outside wall. The 95 goes. He comes off almost into traffic there, but Ryan Butcher coming on through just cleans out the 95. Tib Foster cleans out the 40. Debris flying everywhere. You see Butcher sliding on his roof down further down there. A lot of cars crashing in there, but Matthew Eves, Anderson Reed also going to get a piece of Vince Freeze in the 95. Looking at Ryan Butcher here from the spectator cam. The 83 just nowhere to go. Really gets hit on the side, upside down. Spurley Tube hits him in the roof. Thankfully, the roof much more reinforced compared to last season, of course, in the trucks and cup cars. But the 83 just ends up spinning on his roof down the back straightaway in a vicious hit for Ryan Butcher, the hometown favorite. Slowing it down here, you see Tib Foster up on that outside, just cleans out the 83, but really there was nowhere to go. Yepes, you see, just slid through the middle. Noah Kim had nowhere to go. Other drivers piling on in. A lot of them just had nowhere to go, really. The track's blocked at this point. Riley Spurley to Larry Hagan. Austin Murray's trying to slow it down. Spurley's trying to now keep it out of anyone else. Spurley, he's going to turn it back around here. But the rest of the field, Daniel Cobb's nowhere to go. Roger Ray tried to slow up, just could not slow up enough. Now Spurley Tube's upside down. Cobb's and his car's destroyed. But Christian Vargas was able to make it through that one pretty cleanly. And you're going to see the 47-1 spinning in back here in just a minute. But Morris, Edson, they also were able to get through. Cody Goforth slammed enough on the brakes. Him and Porta able to come to a complete stop and not run into this crash. Colton Yo in the 79, I believe, also did as well. Looking further back, this was in turn number 3 and 4 before the crash. Eves and Porta getting together. They were fighting back here for spots. You got Anderson Reed, Cody Goforth alongside them. They're now 4 wide down the front straightaway with Jacob Edson to the very bottom. But these guys were racing very aggressively before this caution even came out. Eves and Porta even getting together. See, Eves does a crossover on him, but I don't think those two were too happy with each other. Now Eves and Reed trying to get through this. There's nowhere to go, and Reed right into the back of Vince Freeze. Eves just piles on in. Colton Yo up there in the 79 also gets a piece of it, but Eves tries his best to get on through cleanly. We'll bring guys back to the action after this at Auto Club.
How will you be when you're over 100 years old? Will you keep an open mind? Will you be in high spirits? Will you still love to travel the world? RC Cola, American taste since 1905.
Back live here at the Yamaha California 500. Burkhart in the race lead, Jefferson second, Lane up to third, Antoine Smith fourth, and Stephen Wallace Jr. fifth. Friesen sixth, DeLello seventh, Bowers eighth, Dusty Neal ninth, Alex Fletcher 10th, Kukulon, Onjak, Yepes, Vargas, Morris, Eves, Edson, Porta, Goforth, a lap car, I believe, of Gatlin Downey. He is not on the he is on the lead lap, so he is 20th. Curtis, Murray, and Yo, all drivers on the lead lap, but a great deal of drivers out of this one. Larry Hagan, Daniel Kobza, the 07 of Roger Ray, Vince Freeze, Riley Spurley Tube, Anderson Reed, Ryan Butcher, Tib Foster, and Noah Kim have all retired from this event. Heartbreaking for Tib Foster. That's the second week after his Sundrop 500 win that he's been involved in an incident as well. Ryan Butcher, that was a heavy hit for him. He has been taken to a local area hospital, but he did get out of the car on his own. They're just going for further evaluation because he did take a pretty vicious hit and a pretty wild ride. 23 cars are left here at Auto Club. We just had pit stops. DJ Curtis came in to top off on fuel, so I think he's trying to go and stretch that car just a bit further if we end up going back green for a long portion of time. But Brady Burkhart, Jay Jefferson, Colton Lane, Antoine Smith, and Stephen Wallace Jr. are going to be the 5 leading you down. Burkhart, Jefferson, and Curtis have been the dominant 3 all race long. We'll see what will happen now. Green flag is getting back in the air. Jefferson with a horrible restart. But we are back racing here at Auto Club. And you cannot pass to the inside before the start-finish line. That's why you couldn't just drive around Jefferson, especially when he's hugging that outside line. But a horrible restart to the race for Jefferson. He's going to carry momentum through 1 and 2, though. He laid back, and now he's going to try to get the jump on Burkhart. Freeze in the, not Freeze, that's Lane in the 05 on the outside. Now Stephen Wallace Jr. is going to clear Antoine Smith as well. GDI's number 65 trying to get themselves a race victory for the first time, and for the first time with a driver not named Jose Perez. Wallace Jr. up in 4th. DeLello freezing there as well. Antoine Smith trying to win this race after getting into and spinning Vince Freeze. Again, that was most likely a racing incident between those two as Freeze did slow down. But Jefferson into the race lead. Lane second. Stephen Wallace Jr. now up to third, and that's 65. He has practice from yesterday. A lot of drivers did double duty racing yesterday. Colton Lane, Jay Jefferson, and Stephen Wallace Jr. are some of those. Antoine Smith, Zachary DeLello, Carson Bowers, all inside this top 10 that all did double duty yesterday this weekend for the Crown Royal Truck Series and Sundrop Cup Series. Colton Lane tried to move for second. It's not going to happen as Jefferson's going to pull away. Now Stephen Wallace Jr. right behind that 05. That's the battle there, but a great job for Jefferson. That Ozarka colors on the 48, of course, after the Texas flag. He is part of Texas Star Racing, of course, and they are out in front here at Auto Club trying to get Jay his first win this season after that sad finish to the end of his Crown Royal Truck Series race yesterday. Burkhart now on the inside of Lane. That is the battle for third. Coming off of the corner, Alex Fletcher, he made it through that. Cody Smart has to be happy in the garage area inside the top 10. But let's talk about Dusty Neal, a guy who is not that good on these big tracks, not that good on these very fast tracks. Almost won at Texas a few years ago. Austin Johnson moved him out of the way and took that win in the Mountain Dew Custom Series about 3 years ago. Neal winless ever since. He had a pole last season at South Boston in the truck race. Now he's inside, I believe, inside the top 10 in this number 94, trying to get CFRO into the top slots. Matthew Eves is still in this event. He's at the back, most likely damaged as Neal's going to jump to the inside of Yepes. So this is a great run right now for this 94 team. The McDonald's colors trying to fly proudly has moved his way inside the top 10. Curtis up into 14th with that that left side damage to the 5 team. They might have to come in on another pit stop if that's really bothering him, but he has made some ground up. He's not too far behind these guys. You see Morris, Kukulon, and Onjak just ahead of him. Another, that group of Season 1 drivers who have been in here a while. Jacob Edson, Cody Goforth, and Christian Vargas. It was great moves there to get through that wreck. And so for Matty Porta, he was able to slow down in time, lock the brakes up. No one ran into the back of him. He was able to get on through nice and cleanly. Gatlin Downey in the 35, even with that rear end damage, he's keeping pace with the field. Austin Murray, Matthew Eves pretty slow. Don't know what the damage is on there. Doesn't look like too much, but it might be something internal on the 47. And Colton Yo, we're going to have to take a look and see if he can match the race pace of this team as he comes down the back straightaway, and that should be good. They're only hitting about 190 into the corners, so Colton Yo is cleared to continue racing. Up in front, though, Stephen Wallace Jr. has made his way back into second on the back of Jay Jefferson as they come down the front straightaway. 48 is 75 complete here. Colton Lane in the 05 right there. Carter Friesen in the 85 is up there as well. Monster Motorsports still has a few drivers up here. Curtis working his way up, but Gatlin Downey Incorporated right now trying to chase down TSR. GDI is now partnered with Cloud Foster Racing Operations. That's why Downey's driving the 94 for a handful of races. Could be some contact there between Lane and Burkhart behind, but Stephen Wallace Jr. running very strong in this PayPal 65. He came into the Cup Series looking to finally get that win in the higher series competition. It was a disappointing last year for North Border Motorsports. Every time he got up front, it really fell back. But now there's only 23 cars left on the track. There's about 4 or 5 off the pace, so this could be a good top 20 day at least for SWJ. He wants a top 5 or top 10, though. Burkhart into second as this pack now 3x3x3 down the back straightaway. It looks like SWJ had a horrible 1 and 2. There you see Yepes, Fletcher, Smith on the inside, DeLello squeezing himself on the outside. Carson Bowers up here as well in that 25. He's fought his way inside the top 10. Anjada, we got to talk about real quick. They have not had great qualifying this season. I believe all their races have been at the back. Tib Foster, of course, winning the inaugural Sundrop Cup Series race, the Sundrop 500. But Bowers has not been up here defending his title, showing that he's a truck champion. Right now, though, inside the top 10, trying to do the best he can. He's 26th in points currently. So this championship slump could be hitting Bowers hard. He's just hoping he's going to be able to continue this momentum, try to get up there and get a few wins this year in the Cup Series events. Stephen Wallace Jr. has dropped to the back. Colton Lane in the 05 is into that third position, but Brady Burkhart trying to lead this pack on a charge versus Jay Jefferson up there. Stephen Wallace Jr. pushing on Carter Friesen back there, but Burkhart in the 99, again, he has not driven this track in 2 years. The first time he was on this track was practice earlier on Thursday. Now looking to the inside of Jefferson. That's going to be the battle for the race lead heading into turn 1 as he was pushed by Lane and Antoine Smith, and here comes Burkhart to the bottom. We still have a lot of racing to go, about it looks like 26 laps to go next time by. Burkhart to the race lead, Jefferson, Lane, and Antoine Smith. One thing to note about 26 laps to go, if you come in now and you save some fuel, you could make it to the end of the race. This is going to be interesting to see if anyone will try to dive in, try to short pit early on, and try to make it on just one more pit stop. Everyone from this point forward should be able to make it in on one more pit stop, but we'll see if anyone, maybe at the back, tries a bit more strategy than just DJ Curtis coming in under that caution. Jefferson has Colton Lane all over the back of him. Colton Lane, he has driven both of the Sundrop 500 and the Chick-fil-A 500 last week at Atlanta. Right now, he sits third. In points, he's fifth. This is why Monster Motorsports is interested in possibly bumping him full-time. If he wins this race, he could get a wild card slot. So we'll see. We started this season with, I believe, 17 full-time drivers and 20 full-time teams. The 75, 51, and I believe one more team, and the 30, all running the full schedule, but with multiple drivers. Colton Lane was only scheduled for a handful of races this season, but off of the start of this Sundrop Cup Series season, he's right now third. He's fighting with the likes of Jay Jefferson right now. Big crash in the back. They're spinning in the back, and Colton Lane's going to have to take a moment there. DeLello and Yepes are in it. Eve's just going to miss him. And Stephen Wallace Jr., we were praising him early on, and GDI's car has been destroyed. The 65 torn up, and that is heartbreaking for Stephen Wallace Jr., who was running so well in the PayPal 65, and that is his day done. I can't believe it. For Stephen Wallace Jr. was running this race well. He's pulling it down pit road. I don't think they're going to try to continue that car, but heavy hit for the 65. 3 cars into the outside wall, and that is going to just throw another wrench into the plans, but we are going to be coming around this time by when they cross the line. It's 21 laps to go. If you pit right now, you don't have to save fuel. You can go all out and make it to the end. If you don't pit right now, you're going to have to pit in about another 10 to 12 laps, so I don't see anyone staying out here. 2 tires might be a strategy call, but 4 tires and fuel, you're coming in for fuel here because you don't want to be left out and hung out to dry on that pack. Stephen Walsh Jr., they're down on pit road repair in that car. Colton Yo bringing that 79 back around. So we'll have to see if SWJ does come back out, as well as Diego Yepes, Zachary DeLello, that they are meeting that minimum speed. But Brady Burkhart leads them down. We're down to just about, looks like 18 or 17 competitive cars now. Carson Bowers is going to be the first one pulling off. You see Christian Vargas on Jack Colton Lane back there. And at most tracks on the schedule, the pit boxes are set by your qualifying order. So Colton Lane, sorry, I keep mixing those two up. They're in the same race. Colton Lane being so far back, that just shows he was pretty far back. Colton Lane is already off a pit road, off of his pit box, and they're going 4 tires on Burkhart, but Lane might be going for 2. I think Lane just went for 2 tires in that 05 because he is out a very far length ahead of the rest of the grid. Where is everyone else? We'll have to see. Jefferson and Burkhart side by side there. There's Antoine Smith freezing on Jack Bowers. Alex Fletcher, Dusty Neal, Brandon Morris, Jacob Edson. So there is some fuel strategy definitely going on. 2 and 4 tires are going to mix this up. We'll see what happened to bring out the caution, but we will also get you guys the pit stop report. Stephen Wallace Jr. will be at the front of the pack. That's not going to be good. But Colton Lane out in front after it looks like a 2-tire pit stop. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the caution with Stephen Wallace Jr., Diego Yepes, and Zachary DeLello. Third caution of the day sees Stephen Wallace Jr., who was having a great run. He was running away with this inside the top 5. Morris gets into the back of DeLello, and I think he was the one that sends him into Yepes and Stephen Wallace Jr., 2 victims there onto the helicopter cam. You see Morris just full send into it, hooks DeLello. DeLello hits Yepes, and it just flies up, and Stephen Wallace Jr. a big spin and into that outside wall for the 65 team. DeLello hooked by Morris in the closing laps here at Auto Club. 3 cars in this event, or in this crash right here. Get you guys back to the action here at Auto Club after this. Lights on the pace car have gone out here at Auto Club. Out in front, it is Colton Lane, a fuel-only call for the 05 team of Colton Lane. I don't know if that's going to work. The tires could be the factor in him possibly falling to the back, but Colton Lane did just go with a fuel-only pit stop. Came out in the race lead. Burkhardt second, Jefferson third, Antoine Smith fourth, fifth Friesen, sixth Peter Onjak, seventh Carson Bowers, eighth Alex Fletcher, ninth Dusty Neal, and 10th Brandon Morris. 11th Edson, 12th Goforth, 13th Downey, 14th Vargas, 15th Kukulon, 16th Aziv, 17th Porta, 18th Curtis, 19th Murray, 20th Colton Yo, 21st Olelo, 22nd Yepes. Curtis had a pretty poor pit stop, but they tried to repair some of that left side damage. We'll have to see what will happen as we get ready to go back green. Colton Lane out in front over Burkhardt and Jefferson. Burkhardt and Jefferson have been the dominant duo this race. DJ Curtis also has been up there, but he is now at the back of the pack. We will see what will happen on this restart. Going back green with just 18 laps to go here at Auto Club. Stephen Wallace Jr., though, is a lap car, and he has damage. He's going to be slow, and he's going to be holding up the race leaders. We'll see what will happen here if these guys get around him, or if Colton Lane could be screwed on this race restart. Coming back to take the green flag, Stephen Wallace Jr. controls the field. Green flag's in the air. Lane's looking to the bottom. Will he pass him before the inside line? Possibly. We'll have to review that, but Colton Lane out into the race lead. Jefferson is going to be the one held up by Stephen Wallace Jr., and that is going to take out the other dominant car. This could be Burkhardt's race now, as Jefferson held up by Stephen Wallace Jr. Nowhere for him to go. Now SWJ holding up Downey. Jefferson, his race has just been taken from him in this 48 car. That is not going to go over well with Jefferson and SWJ, but Jefferson's day looks to be done here. Just a few laps left. One car is coming down. Colton Lane's coming back down. There could have been an issue on the 05. He's down pit road. I think he was called for going under the double yellow, or under the 65 before the restart. Jefferson now is at the back with Yepes, but Colton Lane, his race is over in that 05 car. Out in front, where did he come from? It's Carson Bowers in the 25 up to second. Antoine Smith, Carter Friesen third and fourth. Morrison Onjak fifth, but Carson Bowers, where did he come from in that 25 car? And you see Lane now taking those tires on that 05 since it's pretty much his race over with. Burkhardt in the race lead, Bowers second, Smith third, Friesen fourth, Morris fifth, with beside him is Peter Onjak. In the battle for that top 10, you got Goforth, Neal, Vargas. This race has gotten turned on top of its head, but look at that. DJ Curtis is back in this fight. Jay Jefferson, don't count him out, gets blocked by Downey. He has to have had it up to here with the Gatlin Downey Incorporated cars. Downey's going to block him coming through the corner. SWJ shoved him all the way to the back of the pack. Now we got to look at SWJ if he's meeting minimum speed, and that he is down the back straightaway. But Jefferson and Curtis now have just a few laps, 15 to go, to catch back up and try to win this race. They got a lot of cars ahead of them. Now Carter Friesen, he's trying to go 2 in a row here in the Sundrop Cup Series as Burkhardt's out in front. Antoine Smith, could the part-timer win the race? Jefferson and Curtis are not trying to wait. Where are they? They were about to go 5 wide on those two. The top 3 on that 3 wide pull away, but Jefferson is not wanting to be denied this race. He wants to at least be there at the end to fight, and Jefferson and Curtis were almost about to make it 5 wide for some top spots up there. Look at Dusty Neal now inside the top 10. Cody Goforth has been out of this top 10. He's been struggling this whole race. They must have got a good setup and good adjustments under that last pit cycle. He's inside the top 10 and hanging on. Morris, there is Onjak. You also got Carson Bowers. Somehow the discount tire 25 is in the race for the win as they run right now. Burkhardt pulling away, but Smith fighting behind. Carter Friesen now sends it in. Onjak in the 44. The Reese's 44 to the outside as Bowers is going to pull back away. Morris back there in 6th. 7th, Neal. 8th, Goforth. 9th, Fletcher. 10th right now, Matty Porta. Jefferson back to 12th. Curtis, 13th. Do they have enough time? 13 laps to go here at Auto Club. Morris now going 3 wide on Onjak and Friesen. Bowers trying to catch up to that 99, but Burkhardt has been dominant on these speedways so far this season. Now Morris to the inside of Onjak, trying to get that spot from him. Not going to happen. Onjado is up here at the end of this one. Can Peter win a race? He has not won a race on a track over 1.5 miles. His one career win on a non-short track being at Kentucky. Of course, his other win being a short track at Mesa Marin last year. Bowers, Antoine Smith trying to chase down Brady Burkhardt. Morris back there as well. It's Dodges and Toyotas up front in this whole field. The next 3 behind that, though, behind Dusty Neal, is Neal's trying to get a top 5 run. Carter Friesen, Cody Goforth, Alex Fletcher, and Chevy's the lone four to Kukulon. I think he might be... Yeah, he and Vargas, and it looks like maybe DeLello are the only 3 competitive Fords left in the field. Cody Goforth now looking 4 wide. Look at this. Dusty Neal now could be 4 wide in the middle. Not going to happen. Friesen and Goforth slower on the inside. Burkhart, though, or Morris, though, in the 55, fighting Peter Onjak, as Onjak's going to try to use that outside line to his advantage. Top 3 pulling away. We got about 10 laps to go. 11 to go next time by here at Auto Club, but it looks like Jefferson and Curtis have stalled out. These guys might just be too competitive now for this 48 to just blow by, and Jefferson's trying, but he's trying, and it might be too late. He has too many cars between them. But Carson Bowers, don't count him out. We said earlier on in this race, Onge Auto has not had a good season in terms of qualifying, in terms of any other driver except Tib Foster, but Tib's luck has already been running out. Bowers now on the back of Burkhardt. Could he be the one to dethrone him? But he has another SBR driver behind him, Antoine Smith. Does Antoine Smith push Bowers around Burkhardt to try to get himself a race win, or does he try to hinder that 25 and go on and give Burkhardt the race win that might be needed in this championship hunt? Morris 4th, Neal back there in 6th. He's trying to fight his way up. He is the lone CFRO and GDI car left in that alliance, left in this competitive field. Eves is at the back. The other 2 GDI cars have damage. Now Neal inside this top 10. Cody Goforth, Alex Fletcher up there. Jefferson to the inside of Porta, but up in front, Burkhardt trying to hang on over defending champ Carson Bowers. Bowers looks, he got a nose to the back of that number 99. The top 5, top 7 stay in single file as they come off the corner. Looking down the back straightaways, Antoine Smith is going to lose some time there. There's Onjak. Brandon Morris in the 55 has never won in the NSDCA. Neither has Antoine Smith, and they are both fighting here at the end. Neal has never won in the NSDCA, nor has Cody Goforth, nor has Sebastian Kukulon. Those guys are all inside this top 10 trying to win, but out in front, no one can stop that Tunity 99. 8 laps to go next time by. Burkhardt out in front. Smith versus Bowers for that second position. Onjak up here in the top 5. Neal, Cody Goforth. Goforth wants that return to victory lane that he was supposed to have in the Sundrop 500. Now he gets split 3 wide by Kukulon, his old team owner. Jefferson now trying to throw it up the middle in that 48 car as they battle up front. Friesen now looking to the inside on Morris. Contact between Morris and Neal. Morris is getting aggressive in this late stages. Antoine Smith a bit slow. Now Onjak clearing to 3rd. They've dispatched the 30. Now Burkhardt is the lone man out as Peter Onjak, owner of Onge Auto and owner of that 25. They're fighting back there in 2nd and 3rd, trying to catch up as they are 4 wide. For 4th on back. Cody Goforth on the very inside as they come through the corner. Morris shoots it out on that outside line. Antoine Smith, it looks like that 30 car's given up on him and it held up Neal. Jefferson is back in the fight, but I don't know if he has enough time to clear these guys. Goforth fighting for a top 5 run. Up in front, Bowers versus Burkhardt. I don't think anyone has the potential to pass this number 99 the way Burkhardt's been running this race. He, Curtis, and Jefferson have been the lone 3 dominating this race until the other 2 had problems. Burkhardt up front. Bowers 2nd. Onjak 3rd. Morris 4th. 5th is now Goforth. 6th Kukulon. Battle for 7th between Friesen and Fletcher. Jefferson only sitting 9th. Jacob Edson in the 82 has fought his way up into this top pack. DJ Curtis held up behind DeLello. I don't think he's going to get it as he makes contact with the 57 there coming through the corner. One thing to remember, these guys are racing harder further back. Up front, they're calm. One thing to remember, the Cup Series has the green-white checkered rule. That means if there is a caution within the final few laps, except for the white flag lap, they will go back racing for an extra 2 laps. They'll pace it around, come back for 2 more laps. So these guys, it might not be out of the water yet for Burkhardt. If he could just pull away, he needs to see that white flag to know that he could win this race. As we said too, this race is not going to be like the truck race. They will not be short on fuel. Colton Lane in the 05 was a bit short on fuel or had an issue. I don't know what it was. It must have been a penalty for that 05 team, but he is off the pace and he's out of this one. Heartbreaking for Colton Lane. Up in front though, Burkhardt holding on over Bowers. Onjak in 3rd. 4th, Brandon Morris. 5th, Cody Goforth. It looks like the SBR driver of that 30 is gone. Morris back there in the 55. He is the satellite team on the satellite team for SBR, though, as Bowers and Onjak are trying to draft each other up to that number 99. I think time is running out. Jefferson clearing Friesen back there. That's the battle for that 7th position as Jefferson's trying to make his move past. Now Kukulon slow, and he's going to blow right by him. Kukulon really slow through the corner. Jefferson back up into 6th. He has 4 laps to do it if he's going to get up there and try to pass Burkhardt. Stephen Wallace Jr. played an important factor in that. Lane and Jefferson started 1st and 2nd. Neither of them now in the battle for this race win currently. Burkhardt pulling away. Bowers and Onjak just might not have enough to catch that SBR 99. Onjak now, he wants to go and make a move on Bowers. I don't think he thinks the 25 has enough in him to go up there and catch that 99. Jefferson now has fallen back as that pack is now together. The top 5 pulled away, and Cody Goforth is now a part of this as Burkhardt runs that outside line. Onjak clears Bowers, but will he have enough time now to get up there and battle for the win? Kukulon Friesen past Jefferson. That is Jefferson's chance at a race win over. 4x4 back further back there as Onjak's going to dive it on in. Can Onjado catch that 99 of Burkhardt? Burkhardt's slow. He's really slow through 3 and 4. He really screwed up that corner, and here comes the Onjado duo off of the corner. Onjak and Bowers, can they win it? There's Morris back there in the 55. Cody Goforth has fallen away. Friesen's caught him. Here comes Onjak. This is the battle for the win. 3 to go at Auto Club into turn 1. Onjak using the inside line. Can he get it? And clear he will. Around Burkhardt to the race lead goes the 44 of Peter Onjak. 2 Dodges versus 2 Toyotas. All 4 of these drivers have been in the NSDCA top division every single season of the NSDCA, excluding Morris, of course. But now he's in the back of Bowers, side by side for 3rd. Morris is going to try to get up there and help his buddy. Goforth is into the wall. Now Burkhardt all over the back of Peter Onjak. Burkhardt has the momentum. He's going to dive to the inside. Can Brandon Morris in the 55 or Carson Bowers catch back up? It's Onjak versus Burkhardt. 2 to go at Auto Club. The last time Onjak went to victory lane was the West Coast race during the West Coast swing last year. Onjak pulls away from Burkhardt. That outside line, monstrous. Off the corner is Burkhardt. That car is starting to fade. 1 more lap to go here at Auto Club this time by. Can the Reese's 44 go to victory lane? Onjak there. Burkhardt throws it in. Morris now. Does he have momentum? Bowers back there as well. That is your top 4. These are the 4 fighting for the win. Onjak out in front. Stephen Wallace Jr. is up there. I don't think he'll be a factor. White flag is out here at Auto Club. And now Onjak into turn 1. Tries to hang on. Burkhardt is gaining, and Burkhardt is there. He has the draft. Bowers and Morris further back. Now Burkhardt, it looks like a bit slower through 1 and 2, but he's going to get a shove from Bowers and Morris down the back straightaway. It's going to be a 4-car race to the finish as they battle further back. Bowers on the inside of Burkhardt, trying to help Peter Onjak go to victory lane here at Auto Club. Burkhardt in the 99. He's going to have a run to the outside. Bowers on the inside. Coming off the corner. It's 4 cars under a blanket for the race win, and I don't think he's going to catch him. Peter Onjak times it perfectly. He will win the Yamaha California 500 at Auto Club. We thought the luck was down for Onjado, but Onjak gets a big run. Burkhardt really choked it away in turns 3 and 4 and just lost it on the inside in 1 and 2. And it goes to Peter Onjak in the Reese's number 44. Back to victory lane. Just like last season, he drove the Reese's 44 to victory lane at Mesa Marin. He does it at Auto Club, and both times it was the 3rd race of the season and the start of the West Coast swing. Peter Onjak in victory lane tonight here for Onjado. Brady Burkhardt comes up just short. Morris comes home in the 3rd spot. A great run there. Jefferson not happy at all with Stephen Wallace Jr. on the radio. He falls back to the 6th position. Further back, though, Sebastian Kukulon coming home top 5. Cody Goforth coming home top 10. But Peter Onjak fought his way up in that Reese's 44 to take home the victory at Auto Club. Heartbreaking for Burkhardt, Jefferson, and Curtis. They had the cars to beat all day, but Onjado shows their speed and their ability to just get there at the end and win. Peter Onjak, the 2nd win in 3 races in the Cup Series for Onjado, and he puts himself into victory lane here at Auto Club. An exciting race. It had everything. There was some strategy to be had, depending on if you went 2 or 4 tires. Everyone basically went 4. Colton Lane really messed up on that restart, was called down pit road, took those 4 tires in his penalty, and that was all that he wrote for passing Stephen Wallace Jr. below the on the inside. Stephen Wallace Jr., though, in that 65 car, that's heartbreaking for him as well. Had a great run going for GDI. Involved in a crash after Morris gets into the back of DeLello, sets off a chain reaction. We had the big one earlier on in this race. Ryan Butcher being sent upside down with a vicious hit to the side. Tib Foster also was involved in that and a lot more. But it came down to the end, and Peter Onjak drove his way past Burkhart and to victory lane here at Auto Club, the 3rd time in his career for the Mountain Dew Custom Series champion. It was an exciting 75 laps here at Auto Club, and our next races will be at Memphis for the Cup Series and Crown Royal Truck Series. Thank you guys so much for tuning in all season long to the NSDCA as well as here at Auto Club. And again, an exciting race to cap off our California weekend. Thank you guys so much for watching, and congratulations to Peter Onjak. And we'll see you guys next time on the NSDCA.